Oh, baby. Everybody, we are here on Geektastic Cypher. My name is Brian Holiday, and my homie to my left, or
What's
see
up,
on
Jaws
the
D?
screen, Jaws D, Jaws Dizzle. How you been, man?
I'm good. I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, this week feels like it's passing fast and draining all the energies.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you have a Monday off, then you're kind of like, oh, well, everything's kind of done.
Thank you. That's what's screwing me up. That's
You completely forgot
Yeah,
you
I
didn't do
forgot I didn't
anything
work
on
on
Monday.
Monday. Yeah. No, honestly, because my partner usually works like alternating weekends.
hmm
So in my head, because she was home Monday, it just felt like it wasn't the weekend she worked, and I
Right.
forgot that she did work this past weekend. So I was just like, "Oh, it's just the weekend you didn't work." And then now that she's leaving, I'm like, "Wait, no." And then it's like really threw me off that today I was not like I went into the office today too,
hmm
and I usually, because of my plan is to not work in the office on Wednesdays because we have the podcast. That way I don't
Right.
have to rush home and eat and then jump on.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, ideally I'm hoping to work any other day except for the
Yeah,
Wednesdays.
exactly.
So it really threw me because in my head I'm like, today's not Wednesday because I wouldn't work in the office.
hmm
Yesterday was Monday and today's just a Tuesday. And then as I was riding back home, I was just like, "Oh wait, no, I have the podcast. I have to get home, eat." Like, yeah. So wild rides, fun times at the
hmm
office though. Vibes cool. I mean, this
That's
is only
good.
my second time back, and it's starting to normalize that sense of
Mhm.
people just being there.
Yeah, yeah. I've been going back here and there, and I always keep in touch with the IT department, the tech team, because they're always fun to talk to, and I
Yeah,
usually try not to bother them too much because I don't want them to feel like I walk in the room and I'm going to ask them for something.
yeah, that's fair.
I really, really don't want to do that, so I usually kind of chill out, or I'll walk in and be like, "Oh, everyone's busy here. Let me peace out. Let me
Yeah, yeah,
let me
yeah.
leave them alone."
You're the favorite type of person, the type of person who understands that they're busy, they have a job, even if they're cool to talk to and hang out with.
Yeah.
Same with me. Like the guys downstairs now for the tech stuff.
hmm
Every time I go down, I'm like, "Oh, these guys are chill to hang out with," but
hmm
like they're like building boxes, like devices to send out to clients, and I'm like,
Right.
"I should leave y'all alone. Y'all got stuff
Yeah.
to do."
Yeah, it's always like, I just don't wanna I mean, I think that's part of, like, how I don't know how you were raised, but I was raised where if I'm bothering my family, they'll tell you to shut the hell up.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
be like, "Could you stop it? Could you knock it off?" They'll be like, "Hey," and then be like, "Oh, shoot, sorry." And then you kind
yeah.
of realize, okay, everyone has a limit. You can't just be you 100%
Yes,
of the time.
yes.
You
Did
gotta be
you
a
ever
little bit aware.
did you ever have some of those weird lessons where obviously something happened to one of your parents that stuck with them, that they're like, because this happened to me, I want to make sure you never do it. In
Mm.
my case, my dad must have shone a flashlight in someone's face, and that person must have boxed him because my dad's reaction whenever you had a flashlight and you almost flashed in someone's face was, "Don't do that!" Like you get
Mhm.
it's such a visceral reaction of like, what trauma happened to you that
Yeah.
you react like this for a flashlight in your face?
Well,
Uh,
it's a little bit weird because flashlights weren't even that bright back in his days. And
I
now they're LEDs and they're
yo,
like lumens are through the roof. They're like
I
1,000 lumens and stuff
I
like that.
didn't want to say it,
Tactical.
but honestly, I just remember being a kid and one time playing with the flashlight, like you do when you're a kid. And
Yeah,
my dad's reaction was, and I don't think I touched a flashlight for like a year because I was just like, yo, something happened where
right.
his reaction to flashlights is visceral. Like, just like,
Just like, yo.
yeah. So speaking of visceral reactions,
hmm
the internet's blowing up about this new Thor Love and Thunder trailer.
Yee.
I mean,
I liked it.
I don't think anyone disliked the trailer. I think
hmm
the only major things that I've seen are gore is not comic accurate. And I've seen a lot of people doing comic
Oh,
accurate like 3D rendering. Yeah, I know. I agree with you.
whatever.
I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
did you see Malekith
Yeah, yes.
From Thor
Yeah.
2? I
Yes.
mean,
I agree.
yeah, stop
Yeah.
complaining.
I mean,
Stop whining.
yeah, guys. I think at this point, as nerds and geeks out there, feel free to understand that this cinematic universe, as much as they just recently called it the 616 in the Doctor Strange film, is not the same 616 we grew up with, is not the same 616 at all. And they're going to make changes.
And you know what's even fascinating? The fact that it's Christian Bale playing the main bad guy.
I know, it's great, right?
And normally he'll like go nuts with the, well, he doesn't go nuts with the makeup. He'll go nuts with
Body
like
adjust, yeah.
his body thing, right? And so, you know, I'd like to ask any other geek or nerd or whatever, you go up to Christian Bale and you tell him, I'm gonna put you in the makeup chair for 5 hours and see what comes out the other end. He's probably gonna be like, nah, fam, I'm good. We're gonna do it this way.
That's a good point. I feel like he does dedicate himself enough that when it comes to the makeup, he's just like, I do so much with my body that, trust me, I already know how this character looks. He's kind of sinewy. Like that was the whole thing with like, he has these kind of like long, weird, like not weird, but he has like these kind of tentacle things.
Yeah.
Kind of the side of the head. And he's like slender and skin. And I feel like Christian Bale already did that. Like in the trailer, you can see he looks pretty slender. He looks kind of sinewy. He's got the, you know, the hood, and he has the whole darkness, the skin tone and everything looks great. That looks comic accurate to me. I mean, if you just don't have tentacles on your head, seems like one less thing for the CG people to have to try and do. Because that's the other thing, you know. Sorry.
And then also I think like I think people complained when Drax wasn't green. Or anything like that. And then I think someone either tweeted out to Gunn and asked him about it. And he's like, well, basically we already have a green character in the series, Gamora. Yeah. And also green is really tough makeup wise to make it look like real skin. So all intents and purposes, he's gray. Like he's gray and red. And then whatever color or whatever hue, whatever lighting he takes up is whatever it takes up. But officially he's gray because they just need contrast with all the team members. You know, you have what's her name? Nebula, who's blue. You have Gamora that's green. You have Thanos that's purple.
Yeah.
Like, and then I think what's his name? The Inquisition. I forgot his name.
Inquisition.
The Inquisitioner.
Inquisitor?
Yeah. He's blue.
Lee Pace?
No, the first movie. The Kree guy with the hammer, and he gets
Lee Pace's character.
Oh yeah.
So
I think he's blue, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like with the he's blue with like the dark black over the eyes. Yeah.
So I mean, complaining about what person looks like what doesn't look like the character in the comic book, I could kind of care less at this point. As long as he looks cool, and then they make it look like. I mean, do you like? Think about it this way. Do you really want the Batman Riddler to look like the 60s Riddler? Do you want the bowler hat? Really?
That's fair. That's
like,
fair.
Come on. Knock it off.
And even in the comic book, they started doing the bowler hat, but they made him a bruiser who wore a bowler hat, which was kind of fun.
Okay.
But I want to ask you, because you, as a Transformer fan, one of the biggest changes, for example, the man behind me to my over my shoulder, Optimus Prime, was completely redone in vehicle mode for most of all of the Transformer franchise. I think you only see him in his traditional flat truck, flat nose in one movie.
In the I think the first time they had Mark Wahlberg, he has the flat nose because he was hiding. Exactly. And then in the Bumblebee movie, he's flat nosed again because they went back in time. I don't mind because again, flat nose, like if the Transformers are coming in modern time, we don't have a lot of flat nose trucks, like you know, and then the reason they have them with the nose out is for like cooling purposes. So if he has to like blend in, it wouldn't make sense that he's an 80s truck that's not even
it breaks down every 2 seconds.
like that truck drivers wouldn't even drive anymore because it's just not worth it. It's like, you know, it's not feasible. So I mean, it makes sense. And then also you want him to look more modern, you want him to change up how he's going to look and everything like that. So I mean, again, without that, I'm saying like without that, like then we wouldn't have the explosion of new toys, of re-interest in the franchise or anything like that. So I mean, you take the good, take the bad, take them good, then you have the facts of life. I failed right in the middle of that. But yeah, I mean, there's
No,
gonna be
I
a good
respect
thing.
that.
There's gonna be a bad thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's pretty fair. When it came to, I'm one of those old school traditional things have to be the way they have to be nerds,
Mm,
which is I used to be like that. I used to, and I didn't gatekeep, but I knew for myself I wanted to see things the way I wanted to see things, and
mm-hmm,
I did my best not to be one of those angry nerds on the internet. But there, Transformers is one of those ones that when it first came out, I was a little disappointed.
mm-hmm,
And based on your explanation, had someone spoken to me and given me that explanation, I would have really appreciated it,
mm-hmm.
because I would have been like, oh, there are very logical decisions behind this. And I respect the fuck out of logic. Like, I will be there with you. If you give me valid logical reasons in the framework of the universe as to why this has to be this way,
Yeah,
I would have been like, you got me. I 100% accept this. Flat nose trucks aren't the best for cooling. They've completely updated the design for specific reasons. That's the standard truck you see nowadays in America. It's the one that makes sense. We don't use the Volkswagen Beetle because even the
oh
new Beetle wasn't as fast or whatever XYZ reason. Ironhide's going to be this way. This
yeah.
all these different characters are
Well,
going to
with
be
the
representation.
Volkswagen stuff, it's more because I think if I remember right, I know Volkswagen, Audi, anything underneath that Volkswagen brand, they didn't
Okay.
want to associate themselves with war, basically,
Oh,
because
because
of
of their history.
their history. But it seems
That's
like
fair.
it's kind of been easing up
Okay.
as it's been going on. So like you have like the masterpiece Bumblebee that actually comes as a Volkswagen Beetle.
Okay.
I think Sideways, which is an Audi car, is going to be the next Studio Series car that's coming out.
Oh, cool.
All the Lamborghinis, the old Countaches, like they've done
Oh. Okay.
for Masterpiece, those came out and stuff like that. So
Oh, so it
um,
wasn't even just in the films. It was even in action figures. They didn't want to be associated with
mhm.
action figures that might be linked to battle.
Yeah. So
Oh
what they
shit.
ended up doing was like certain brands are okay. Yeah, you can use the Lamborghinis now. Officially, you can use that.
Oh, cool.
Okay, Audi, you can use that. Okay, Bumblebee is a big character. Fine,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could use that. And I'm here sitting here waiting for Jazz because that's the Porsche,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's a
Yes.
part of that brand. So I'm just like, come on, Porsche, here we
That's
go.
dope. That's dope.
Next
That's
one,
dope.
next one.
I don't think we talked about it last week. I mean, we'll get back to the
She-Hulk.
trailer real quick, but just
Oh,
because we're
okay.
already on Transformers, did we talk about the Hasbro Lego Optimus Prime on the show? I know we talked about it after. I don't remember if we talked about it on
No,
the
I don't
show.
think we talked about it on the
Okay.
show.
Hey, I see Proto Man saying he wants to jump in, so I'm gonna send him the
Ah.
link.
Oh, you want me to
Uh,
send it or you send it?
I already got it.
You already got it?
So
Okay.
so if Proto Man wants to jump on and talk with us, he can talk with us because
He's gonna
he's
tell us
saying
how
he's
wrong I was, or I was halfway right.
no. I think if anything, he's just really excited to discuss
Yeah, man.
the same things with us because he knows as a geek that we appreciate this stuff. And by all means, feel free to jump in. But yeah, so the reason I brought it up is the Optimus. I've said to people in the past, if you guys listen to the show, I think I've even mentioned it, that I was gonna retire collecting Lego. I'd already kind of retired collecting Transformers because I have my collection. I love my collection.
Mhm.
With Lego became the replacement, and I was trying to phase my way out of collecting just because I felt like it was time. Even if I have more space now, the more space gave me the sense that I could fill it up more, and I think
Mhm.
that's a dangerous sense. That feeling of like I have more space, so I can fill more space. So that's
Yeah.
actually one of the reasons I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually limit myself. I only buy specific series and specific things that I really, really like.
Yeah.
And the 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 last thing I said I was gonna get was, and I mentioned it to people before, the DeLorean, the Lego DeLorean. And
Mhm.
I said, I don't think Lego will ever release a set that will make me want to buy like another set. Because a Lego DeLorean for me, a large one, was the epitome. I
Mhm.
have the Batmobile, the '89 Batmobile. That was one of them.
Mhm.
I had I got the Daily Bugle. I got the OG Batmobiles. I got the Batwing. So in my head, I was just like, okay, I'm done. And then they announced that Optimus Prime,
Every
and
time you get out, they pull me
oh,
right back
dude,
in.
full like mafia style. Like I was in Wit Pro, and somehow they got me, and I'm still in the game. Like it's and like I guess I should have unsubscribed from the damn emails and all the Lego channels, because that's what it was. It was all the Lego channels being like, it's official, the Optimus Prime Hasbro Lego crossover and all this stuff. And I couldn't resist, man. I couldn't. So it's coming out June 1st, 6 days, 7 days, something like that. And I just have to wait. I have a Lego VIP account, which used to let me do pre-order, but they haven't done a pre-order on anything in the last little while. The last thing I was able to pre-order was the Daily Bugle. After that, everything else has been same day. And I thankfully I wake up early whenever those things drop and just order like, 12:01 a.m. I'm on the site like, come on, just let me find the damn
on my end, and same with Protoman's end, like our little pockets of the internet that deal with Transformers, like we saw pictures of it, but it wasn't like official pictures. It was just like pictures here and there, and everyone's like, is this official? And we're like, we don't know yet. Just hold on. Let's see what happens first.
Yeah.
This could have been like a fan made thing, but let's see what happens first. And then then it started kind of coming out through like official channels and people getting like the actual like paper for it and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, okay, it's official. So
I'm just wondering, cool. I'm going to add Protoman in. Protoman, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. I'm adding him in.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Protoman. What's up, good sir?
What's good in the hood?
Chillin'. So obviously you were watching, you heard us discussing all the wonderful, awesome.
You said Transformers like, 10 times. And
I know. And he's like Beetlejuice. Yeah. It was just like, this is like, like a couple of weeks ago, you guys were talking about wrestling, and I was like, "You guys are fucking killing me."
I know.
Well, we definitely should talk about wrestling.
Skinny was talking shit about the new generation. I was like,
"Oh my goodness, who's coming through? Oh, it's Proto Man! Oh my goodness!"
Glass breaks.
Yeah. So we're talking about the. We'll talk about. Did you get to see the Thor trailer too? Because
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that after. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about the Hasbro Lego deal of some sorts, because we got the Optimus Prime is being made, and I was just explaining that it's the first one. It's what I say is now my last set again, because I said the DeLorean was going to be my last set, and then this is my last set. I think the only other one that I would get if they did in Lego is Blaster. If they did a Lego Transformer Blaster, which based on the Optimus design doesn't seem impossible, because I see
he was my first Transformer growing up. So when this
Protoman is kissing his original Blaster.
No, this is the Legacy one.
Legacy
the brand new one.
But yeah, so I mean that's the only other one that I think if they made a Lego version based on how simple it is to transform,
extremely simple. Yeah, that's a very simple design.
I could see them wanting to do that. And I think that would be the last one. The penultimate, because they're always going to be penultimate, because there's always going to be another one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll ask you guys real quick, because you guys would be in the know. What happened to Creo that it kind of just went the way of the dodo bird, and now to the point where they're working with Lego?
So here's the thing. So Hasbro worked with a company in Korea. I forget their name. And this dates back to like the 90s. They had this company that did their own kind of Lego brick kind of stuff back in the 90s. And they just had this loose relationship that they're like, hey, we're going to do like in G2, there was going to be a brick line with Transformers. And it never came out. It was I think it was called Brick City or something. It was going to come with little MicroMasters. There's prototypes of it online. And just nothing came of it. And then fast forward a couple of years. And then during the Unicron trilogy, which was Armada, Energon, they did a line called BTR, called Build to Rule. With that, and that was a Transformers Lego brick like subsection, imprint as the term is called in the toy industry. It fucking shit the bed. It was the ugly. No, they were so ugly, Brian.
Oh,
you have if you type BTR Optimus Prime, you'd be like, what is this garbage?
I'm definitely looking it up.
I have a bunch of them. They're forget about it. So they tried and it didn't work. They were ugly. But again, it's Hasbro with people who've been doing other.
Oh, I remember these. The BTR. Yeah,
they were really bad. So they did that with that same Korean company. It didn't work. And then they went, okay, let's take a step back. And Creo was just kind of born out of, and Hasbro's done this for years. What's hot at the time? That's all it is. Like if you look at Transformers as a brand, Micro Machines are hot in the 80s. Let's do MicroMasters.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles are hot. This is where the Pretender shells and the mutants come in. In Toy Biz, X-Men action figures in the 90s are hot. There's the Action Masters, which are more action figure based. Then you move forward to the 90s. Oh, here's this line called Power Rangers that's going to have these colored dinosaurs. What happens in the same fucking year? G2 Dinobots, colored dinosaurs. Wendell's mom buys the wrong fucking toy. No joke.
No, I still love it. Still
but
like it.
But it shows. There it is. Look at that. Fuck.
So if you guys are listening to this, don't forget.
But to be fair to my mom, I did ask for slag. Okay. I did know the difference between the two because I did have.
But Hasbro did that on purpose to confuse grandmas and everything because they knew, oh my God, here's this at the time 20-year-long brand called Sentai, aka Power Rangers, coming to the market for the first time. Oh, thank you.
The partner delivering drinks to Proto Man.
This is the it's like I'm sponsored. This is the brand new smoothie edition s'mores. What is it? S'mores chill, whatever. It's the
Is it good? Is it good?
Brought to you by Geeks Taxis FIFA.
Yeah, here you go. First taste publicly.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you. So so the point is they essentially were they were going to do stuff with this Korean company, and then the Lego movie came out, and we all know who that exploded.
Yeah.
That exploded for them in a lot of ways, and Hasbro was just kind of going like,
Yeah.
And they contact that Korean company that they've been doing stuff back and forth and with Takara in Japan and everything, and they're like, hey, let's try the Lego thing again. And I think the reason where they effed up was and it might be different for you because you like building stuff, but most Lego collectors, it's all about the minifigs. It's all about the minifigs.
I did love the minifigs.
And where they screwed up with Creo was they didn't start with minifigs. They did these big sets and stuff. Yeah, they had a mini, but everyone just wanted an Optimus Prime minifig, a Bumblebee minifig.
Right.
And I think that if they would have just started with that, that would have been it. But at the end of the day, and I compare Lego collectors to people who use Apple products where they're very purist to that.
Yeah.
Where like Wendell doesn't mind getting a Mega Bloks whatever that has articulation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where Lego, they're like, no, this is totally superior in every way.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I remember.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I remember back in the day, I think in the 90s and 2000s, Lego Technic actually had like little figures that were fully articulated.
I have those in the other room.
Those things are amazing. And then like you would put them in the Technic's chair and everything like that, and you had like little action figures for them.
They were like G.I. Joe level articulation.
Yeah.
And I believe they were like 5 inches tall.
They're pretty tall.
And some reason Lego just never continued with that for whatever reason. And they weren't customizable too. That was another thing about them. To a degree.
I just want to say real quick, and I do agree with you because for the minifigs for the Creo set, when I collected all the Creo sets for the Transformers, I got them all, and then I built. Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah, I'm sure.
Look at the wall of them over there. Every single minifig on the left there.
Well, that's it. So in the end, when I ended up giving all the Creo sets to my friend's kid, because I was just like, I don't want these anymore. So I gave him those ones, and I gave him hold on one sec. Pull these up. I don't remember what these are called.
The Constructor Bots.
Yeah, so I also got the Constructor Bots.
Those were that's Hasbro's answer to Bionicle.
Yes,
Hero
exactly.
Factory.
So I ended up giving all the Constructor Bots that I had, except for the ones I really, really liked, which was Wheeljack, Starscream, and I think I have Ironhide. And then I gave them all the Creo sets that I had, and only thing I kept were the minifigs and the Energon cannon that you bought. Like
if you bought them, you built one.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Build-A-Figure. Essentially, you were building it. It was a Build-A-Cannon. And that was the only thing I did, and I loved it. It was so much fun. But again, yeah, you're right. The minifigs and the little things were the things that got me really excited about it. Funny enough, like even though you said, and you're right, I am someone who likes to build. I do love building Lego sets. But when it came to the Creo stuff, in the end, the minifigs were the things I actually liked the most.
Because Lego recognizes, they know that within their own, I guess we'll call it fandom, their own whatever, that they go, oh, this is going to be a high in demand minifig. Let's put it with a $300 set.
Oh yeah,
they know. Yeah. Me and Wendell, and you know him too, Eric, who used to work at Lego and stuff. He said people would come in and they would buy like these big Jurassic Park play sets just for the one dino.
Yeah.
And then they would literally come back and try to return it. And head office would tell them, check for the minifigs right away.
Right.
Because they're going to, because again, it's such a small thing. So you would overlook it because you know that's what, if they gave it back, that's the one thing they're going to try to keep.
Yeah.
You know? So it was ridiculous stuff like that. And I mean, but going back to like the Transformer Lego thing is Hasbro just had that relationship for years and it just never worked out. The last thing they did was because they have Universal Studios, which they have their deal with, and they have Universal Studios Transformers The Ride, and they have their gift shop. And what kept it alive, and I actually still have it. Let me just show you guys here. 1 sec. Let me grab it.
Proto-Man's looking through his huge collection of figures.
This was the very last Creo product that was ever made. It was the exclusive Universal Studios Creo set.
Cool.
And they did this. This was 2020. Actually, no.
Oh, wow.
Really?
2020.
Wow.
The top of 2020. Okay.
So, and that was it.
That was the last one.
And that was
just minifigs.
Who's in that pack?
It's the new one in that is they have this guy called KSI Nest Century.
Oh wow!
But otherwise,
they're still doing Nest stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it's Bumblebee, Optimus, Megatron.
Megatron.
And it's all movie flavored, like it's the movie designs. And because you go to see the ride, then you go to the gift shop, and that was one of those cheap little tchotchke kind of items that the kid would buy or what. Oh, it's Lego, right? You know, make that mistake purchase.
Do you think with Creo they could have ever tried to do the transforming set though? Because I feel like that's Lego doing that is a huge thing. The fact that you'll be able to transform
it's something that I'm sure tons of creative Lego fans have done a million times.
Exactly.
Everyone knows the Lego Ideas website where people submit ideas.
Well, even your buddy Eric, he
did one too.
Yeah,
he did one also. Nice one, I'm pretty sure for years there's stuff going on behind the scenes that people were submitting and ideas and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's something where do they want to go into that environment that Hasbro has been a leader in? Do they want to go up against Hasbro and try that? Do they want, and Lego too, they're not big, and they've said this in the past, they're not big with war properties. They're not big with stuff that has guns and stuff like that. Sure, they do license properties like Star Wars and
Marvel, Batman.
But they've said outwardly that they're not a big fan of doing that kind of stuff. And something like Transformers really in a lot of ways was kind of the opposite of what they would have wanted to do here. Like literally the basis of Transformers is these two warring factions of robots, and doing the Optimus Prime, it's two things. Number one, that Optimus Prime design is so simple. It really is. It's like it's, I always say if it's a transformation that a human could do, then and then, break your spine a little bit for the back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I understand what you mean. Like,
you know what I mean?
Cosplayers.
Same thing with Blaster. Blaster's legs go like this, and then that's it. Some yogi could probably do Blaster. But the point is that so those kind of designs work for Lego because Lego is limited by what it could do.
Yeah,
there's only so much. There's this guy, I forget his name, Tingo. He's a YouTuber who reviews Lego. And what up, Skinny? And
in the house.
He what do you call it? He's not a Transformer collector, but he's obviously a hardcore Lego guy. And even him was pointing out, there's the limitations that can exist that could pull that off, and there's still the little gaps and stuff like that. So it obviously you pick Optimus Prime. He's the most iconic. There's a reason for that. Will they do another? I know so many people are like, do you think Megatron's next? Yeah, Lego's not doing a gun.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I think if they do another one, and I think they'll do one more, it would be Bumblebee. And that's it. That would be it. I don't see them maybe Soundwave, maybe Soundwave, But even then, I think it might be just a one and done. I think it's Lego and Hasbro just kind of going, hey, we're going to do this one thing. It's going to sell gangbusters like every other Lego set always does. I believe the pre-order is in a couple days, actually.
Well, that's it. I'm a VIP, and I the last few sets that they've done, they haven't really seemed to do a real pre-order. They just tell you like June 1st, and that's it.
Yep. Well, that's when it is. It's going to be June. It's going to drop, and
yeah.
Like I always say, buy one and then sit on it, and
I know, dude. I always tell people my biggest regret was, and I point like you guys can see it, but I have the bootleg version of the Firehouse because the Ghostbusters Firehouse, because of Ghostbusters Firehouse, I didn't get it when it first came out. By the time I felt like I could afford to get it, it had skyrocketed to $1,300.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Again, they're very similar to Mac and Apple people, where it's like there's a whole other demographic of money involved, investing. Didn't
you hear? I think quite a few years ago, there was like a whole either robbery scam or something where people were stealing Lego sets and then flipping them on the black market for like more money or something like that.
Oh, wow.
No,
it's a whole sting operation behind that. It was crazy.
It's absolutely nuts, and that's primarily why like this Prime, when it comes out, even if you
he froze because he was about to hit.
Don't want it, because I'll tell you right now, like the two.
You froze
a little bit.
You're back now, though.
You're back.
Did
now.
I?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Just the Optimus Prime, pick it up even if you don't want it.
No, don't tell them on it because I want one.
No, I want one now, but I wonder why is this thing $300? $219?
Because it's Lego. Because it's Lego.
Because Canadian prices in the States, I think it's $169. And
Lego looked. I feel like Lego looked at Bandai, who does the Gundam model kits, and they said, so let me get this straight. We could just get our customer to assemble everything, and then we could charge like double the price.
That's rude.
This Optimus Prime, the masterpiece Optimus Prime is cheaper,
which is supposed
to be the pinnacle of engineering and technology.
And they built it for you.
But we're building it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's Lego again. I'm not a big Lego guy, so
that's fair. But to everyone who's listening, please,
even though I'm sitting on like the largest Lego collection ever for no reason, like
please don't listen to Protoman's advice. Do not buy one.
Yeah.
Leave it for the nerds like us.
No, buy that and flip it.
Want to.
Go get yourself some like off-white Jordans after that.
Make that paper, boo-boo.
Pay that mortgage. What are you talking about?
Pay that mortgage.
Because I saw what happened with the Nintendo stuff that they did. They had the first one they did was the Nintendo TV with the system.
Yeah.
And then the second one they did was the Nintendo 64 block that opens up to make levels. Both of those like sold out like that.
Right.
And then before you knew it, these $200 was $197, whatever, went up to $400, $600, and God knows what it is now. But that's how they work is the second it leaves allocation, the second it's not in distribution anymore, and it's a retired item.
Oh, I hate that word.
Like Beanie Baby talk,
I hate the word retired. Every time I go on the Lego site and it says retired product, I get so mad.
Thank Beanie Babies for that. They started that whole thing. It's retired now. You can't get the blue-eyed elephant anymore. But the difference between Beanie Babies is it's not related to a licensed property that's been around for near 50 years now and is going to be probably around for another 50 years. So
do you think that's going to be something that happens with like our generation when like people start like divorcing and they start trying to break apart the Lego collection and all that kind of stuff?
I love watching shows like American Pickers, which is it's a bunch of old white guys that they go around Canada, and they're clearly boomer guys, right? Like but their obsession is old white guy stuff. Old 1950s tin signs and but you see how much these guys pay for it, right? And I go, that's going to be us one day. That's going to be us. We're going to be like that 50-year-old guy going, these Marvel, legends back in, there was the variant heads and everything. And it's going to be the same thing. And next thing you know, we're buying prototype sculpts and we're finding stuff in garages and we're going to be so, like I always say, the next stage is we're going to be obsessed with signage. Oh my God, this old Toys R Us sign,
I think people are already doing that right now.
I was going to say, if you told me
the
tomorrow,
Jeffries.
Yeah, if I could get a classic Toys R Us sign or a classic Zellers,
but
if
there
you
you
get me a classic Zellers sign, I'd put that on my wall tomorrow.
Zeddy, I got myself a Zeddy.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Those guys, I look at those American pickers, which again, these old like white dudes who are just buying stuff at thrift markets and flea. But you see that and you go, "Ooh, that's going to be us one day. It will be. It's that crystal ball." So you got to always you look at those guys and you go, "That's going to be us."
It's gonna be like, "Oh man, I got this first issue of was it NERD in search of before they even found their NERD sound. They still sounded like
you joke
Neptunes.
About that. You joke about that, like whoever has the first issue of Source magazine, for hip hop culture. You don't think someone graded that? Someone graded that with CCG and probably has it somewhere. And then 20 years from now, it's going to be like, especially if someone, I can't speak for what was in that first issue, but if there's someone iconic in it, there's so much connotation.
Classic
I remember
stuff like
I remember when I was on your separate segment show, Not a Journalist, we talked about how Batman Adventures number 11 was a $1 book forever. And then the Suicide Squad movie came out, and who debuted in Batman number 11 at Animated Adventures? Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And then that book went from $1 bin nothing to $500. And now it's obviously it's tapered off. Now it's a $400 book.
Sure,
yeah.
And real quick, that's why when I go to like thrift shops and stuff like that, I dig through their comic little crates that they have all the time just to see if there's something that I'm like,
I'm just gonna chill out with this Moon Knight number 1.
Exactly. He got his Moon Knight number 1. Like you start looking into these little digging in the crates, but digging in the crates in such odd like spaces. Like Renaissance thrift shop that no one's paying attention to has 2 full bins of comic books.
Well, also there's 2 kinds of buyers in the market too when it comes to comics. You have what's legitimate, like key issue buyers who know that stuff is worth money, but there is people that also buy, like they buy books ironically, and I know that sounds silly. To give an example, like Falcon number 1, as in Falcon, his number 1 miniseries book, there's nothing special about it per se. It's a 90s book printed into oblivion, but you pick up that book, you put it on your table, and Winter Soldier's a brand new movie, or the Falcon Winter Soldier TV series, someone's going to buy it because it's a Falcon number 1 in their mind. And if you pick that up for 50 cents a dollar, you could sell it for $10. There's a whole different audience of buyers that are buying based on hype and what is hot right now. And if you know how to dance with that market, you're able to take advantage of it. Look, I don't give an F about Doctor Strange stuff, but if the opportunity presents itself to pick up some Doctor Strange books right before a movie comes out and you put it out in the market at the right time, you're gonna make money.
I have
Daniel could buy something,
Yeah, I have the Doctor Strange. I think number 1 issue of the Defenders, where it's him, Hulk,
Silver Surfer, and Namor.
Yeah. And I have that somewhere, and I know now the value of that when Namor comes out.
And that's always how it is.
Silver Surfer.
I think
they introduced Silver Surfer. That one that I have, it's gonna go crazy.
It's out of here. I think the week before Hawkeye dropped, or it was the last episode before they revealed Kingpin. I sold a Marvel Legends Ronin MCU figure that I had sitting in my closet for.
And I was asking you, how long were you sitting on it before? That's
legit 2-3 years. I sold
there you go.
Sold that shit for like $85 plus shipping, like $95. The week later, they announced the new Hawkeye and Kate Bishop Marvel Legends that are coming out like next year.
The best example I always give was Wonder Woman. I had Toy Biz gold carded Wonder Woman stuff forever. Nobody wanted those 90s DC Toy Biz. They were Garbo. They were terrible figures. Like Toy Biz lost the license after that to Kenner.
Snap.
Because they were so bad. They were so bad. Like I actually did I don't want to plug my other podcast.
Go ahead, man. Plug.
Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. I do a podcast with literally the guy who created everything we've talked about today, including DC Kenner stuff. And we talked about how, we were talking about Batman toys, the Kenner toys during the movie stuff. and how Toy Biz for that brief moment had the first Batman movie toys, and they had which they made 3 characters. Here's this
The
cultural
one with the belt that came
Thank
off.
you. Yeah, what a piece of shit! Lose the belt in 5 seconds.
So weird. That made no sense.
But the point is, here's this movie that's a huge cultural impact. Like, oh, we'll release 3 figures. That's it. You know, like Bob the Goon. Yeah, because we need Bob the Goon. You know. Oh my god! But the point is,
but do you think they like didn't know at the time, or just like, yeah, we're gonna like,
trust me, you're not getting Batman toy license to not do something.
Well, no, but I mean, like, so
you know?
this is like the first time. What's his name? They got. I think when they announced that, what's his name was playing Batman, they're like, what, Beetlejuice is going to be Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Everyone's gonna,
you know, Tim Burton's doing this. Is going to be like, you know, Edward Scissorhands. What is this going to be? You know, like people are very skeptical.
The good news with that story was Toy Biz learned their lesson from that, and then they would go on to get the Marvel license, and then they made tons of money.
X marks the spot.
You know,
X-Men.
there you go. Like, but the point is, like, so that I had tons of these Wonder Womans, and I was just sitting on it forever, and then that movie came out. And next thing you know, like literally it was like perfect time. I think it was like 2-3 weeks later was Montreal Toy Con. And all of a sudden everyone, do you have Wonder Woman? Do you have Wonder Woman? Do you have Wonder Woman? Everyone was Wonder Woman crazy. But the flip side of that was Green Lantern. Everyone was hyped about Green Lantern because around the same time as the movie was coming out, we had the Blackest Night comics. Oh, that's that movie. The comics were great. Oh, the different, you know, emotional spectrums, everything. It was all hype, and then that movie came out, and then everyone that was hyped about it, then it was like, oh, get you can't get rid of it. You know, so,
do you remember what toy show it was? Like everyone was just sitting on a bunch of Green Lantern stuff, and people had their rings and everything.
Oh well, yeah, it was Fan Expo Toronto. Fan Expo Toronto.
Oh yeah,
Fan Expo Toronto did this huge thing. They were handing out all the rings, glowing rings.
Yeah, I have
one of them still. You know, like it was all this, like there was this huge hype leading into it, and then it shit the bed. But you know, that's one of those examples where hopefully you made your money before the movie came out, which is usually how it is. Like I sold a whole bunch of Harley Quinn stuff long before that first Suicide movie came out, regardless if it's good or not in your opinion. The point is I made the money before people could realize if it's good or bad or not. And look, it's the same thing with Transformers. Like I was part of that hobby, that fandom, literally my whole life. Like it's you know, I was one of the lucky few to get the internet very early, so I engaged with that fandom very early, but I was part of that my whole life. No one cared outside of that bubble. But when those movies came out, all of a sudden the Gazette starts calling. All of a sudden, you know, This Morning Live wants me on TV. You know, so everything kind of changed afterwards. So you just got to you got to play with that market. You look at what Disney's calendar is, because they love showing you that calendar of 7,000 properties going forward.
And if you're a smart nerd, you know who's going to be in what. Just by the title, if you've already read those titles, you knew Gore was coming. You know every single character that's going to pop up, and you even have an idea of the characters that might pop up for cameos, because everyone's kind of hinting like maybe we get a Beta Ray Bill cameo where
here's today for all of your listeners. You want to make some money right now? Here's today. Go out right now before your comic book stores get smart. Sensational She-Hulk #1 by Chris Claremont.
Oh yeah. You're right.
$5 forever. Yeah. You know, even her words, Savage She-Hulk #1 for the longest, the $30 book. No one cared, you know, because it was, I think, 1982, 1983. She's not a Silver Age book like all the others. You know, she's a Bronze Age book. So
as long as they fix that CG though. I just need it tweaked a little bit, because
regardless, her in her Fantastic Four costume. I don't even.
Well, that'll be later. An Avengers suit, Fantastic Four.
I want to see that Fantastic Four suit so bad though. She looks badass in it.
Yeah. And then then you get the confusion with the other Miss Marvel, who is, forget what her name was, who is also
the original Carol.
No, we're going deep.
The other one.
There's Carol. Then you got
Monica.
No, but there was a Miss Marvel. I forget her name. She had blue and red was her outfit. She became She-Thing at one point.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah. This is super deep cut Marvel.
My God. Yeah. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like she dated Ben Grimm for a bit, and then and she was Miss Marvel at one point. She actually had a Toy Biz figure too. So, Anyways,
Wow,
I don't want to
that's,
go really
Don't have
deep.
that one.
that
No,
is a wild-
no, trust me, like I don't talk a lot of Marvel DC, but like the deep stuff that I know of it, that I tried.
Sharon Ventura.
Yes, Sharon
Yeah, there
Ventura.
you go.
I just looked it up right now.
Can you tell me who the controller is? Because that's a Build-A-Figure they're coming out with, and I'm like, why?
The controller?
Yeah, he's blue. That's it.
Is that
Isn't
a
the
Kree
controller
guy?
Maybe he could be a Kree guy. Very possible.
The
But-
controller.
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything open right. So
Okay, but speaking of space, we didn't talk about it. We started and then we turned into the
sorry.
Transformer.
Go ahead.
logo.
Go ahead.
No,
We'll do
No,
other
no,
stuff.
no, no. This was great conversation. Do not apologize. There's a reason I sent you the link. It was great for you to jump on. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate all the people tuning in right now and listening to the conversation. Because
Oh shit! Why am I not sharing this? Holy crap!
Go ahead. But yeah, Thor trailer dropped. We were having the conversation about the Thor trailer, and the only thing I talk about was gore so far. But real quick to everybody, what is the vibe? You guys saw the trailer. We saw Thor. We saw Mighty Thor as
Oh, that's
Jane.
sorry to cut you off. That's the Thanos body. He's just
Oh,
a
we're talking-
repaint.
Yeah.
Controller.
Talking about the controller
yeah.
figure.
That's why I'm asking you.
Sorry to
like,
cut
why-
you off there, but
No worries, no worries.
that's just a lazy repaint. That's all they did. That's oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah,
half an
Dark
inch here.
Side. All of them have the same damn body at
Body,
some
yep.
point.
Well, yeah, that's
True.
That's all Ron
Kirby.
Lim and who else wrote that? Drew that. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
Kirby?
No,
Jack
you know what?
Kirby?
I will show people though, so that they can see who we're talking about real quick. So if you guys are listening to this and want to see the things that we are talking about, by all means, always make sure to tune in.
Watch it on YouTube.
Geektastic. Yeah, watch us on YouTube or on Twitch.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. It's good for the algorithm.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
we appreciate the love,
Get us
and
up there.
you guys can check it out. This is the
Yeah,
controller.
look at that. Jeez.
Yeah, that is blatantly Thanos.
Yeah, seriously, man.
That is-
That's
Yeah,
probably
honestly-
they probably went, yo, man, we didn't sell a lot of those Infinity Gauntlet box sets. You know? Like they did that. We have a body we need to use. Because look,
Is that it right there? That one?
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
figure.
look at that. Oh my god, I got to go upstairs to my Thanos display and see which one it is specifically. If it's the first one or the second one that they did with
It's the
Legends.
second one. It's a second release, but that for sure. He's in Armor Wars, I hear, and so apparently, yeah, this is probably why they released him. 'Cause he might be in
You know
Armor
what?
Wars.
Sometimes it's all about tooling. They just go, you
Yeah.
know what? We put a lot of money into that
Yep.
tooling. We need
that
to get that
body.
money back.
Yeah.
You know?
Here we go. Controller body. I mean,
blue.
What an
Thanos body.
interesting looking figure.
It's so
This
it's so-
is the wave that has Blue Marvel in it, but they gave you the new Blue Marvel, not the classic
cape.
one with her, not the cape. They gave
Yeah,
you
the guy that's in
the
the suit.
ultimate costume.
Yeah.
So
Who's kind of like too funny enough, that outfit looks like an 80s Marvel suit. Because remember when everyone started getting rid of their capes, Thor
Yeah.
and all of them in the 80s,
yeah.
all just started wearing like leather jackets with
And
spikes and
vests.
stuff like that. The
Yeah.
vest. Yes. And that's it. Blue Marvel.
Thunderstrike?
DC2 is doing that also with Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
and that's exactly what Blue Marvel's doing. If you look at the Blue Marvel figure, it's him with the vest over his outfit, and it's just blue, white, and the dark blue. It's very funny that they do stuff like that. But
Very, very strange. But yeah, here we are.
Anyways, yeah.
no, Thor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Taika Waititi dropped it. He said he did a whole press run to promote that it was going to drop in the fourth game on the East Coast NBA Finals. East Coast Finals. And it did. It dropped, and the responses have been, like I was saying with Josh D earlier, very positive.
And it's supposedly there's going to be a version with the Top Gun movie as
Oh,
a trailer. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
the only reason why I know that, because the promoter in Montreal who does like the free tickets,
Cool.
Mhm.
like they put that as part of the advertising.
Ah,
Well, like,
smart.
oh, if you go to see Top Gun, here's the trailers you're going to see.
Oh,
you know?
cool.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
So that was one of them that was on there.
Top Gun itself is a whole other thing we should talk about at some point. But
yeah.
no, you're not talking.
No,
about
I wouldn't mind talking about it.
I don't mind talking about it anyway.
The original Top Gun was a top 3 soundtrack. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, people say that pretty often.
Yeah.
That's one of those soundtracks that even at my work they still talk about how
Playing with the Boys is an underrated song.
yeah. How do you guys feel about the? Well, okay, I'll start with the controversies.
Okay.
So some of the remember, I'm in these nerd groups, so I just see
I'm not
people
even
getting
in
mad.
them. So I'm
I-
just
I
like,
know
this
this
is
is-
cool.
So number one, how is it possible that Taika gets away with stripping Thor naked, but if it was a woman, we would be upset? What is this double standard?
Because number one, women go to see the Thor movie for Thor to begin with.
Yeah,
facts.
Let me tell you
Taika
something.
likes money.
Yeah.
and he's smart.
yeah.
Like
Chris
Nope.
Hemsworth doesn't have the dad bod anymore. You
First
got to
of
get
all,
that money back.
The first Thor movie, they made sure for him to have the top off.
Yeah.
You know, the first Iron Man movie, they made sure the top was off. The first Captain America movie, they made sure the top was off. They're not stupid. Okay?
Yeah. And then what's the actress again? She
I'm pretty
touches his
sure Hulk
chest,
had no
Oh,
top.
and that
on
wasn't
the whole
even
movie.
scripted.
Kat Denning, dude,
Yeah.
when she rubs his chest.
No, not Kat Dennings. In the first
Cap.
Captain America movie,
Oh,
when he
Haley
comes out
Atwell.
When
and
he's
she's
taller.
like, she touches the chest. That
Yeah,
wasn't
Haley
even
Atwell.
scripted. She
That
just
was-
Yeah, she just said, I love that. She actually said, I just could not resist touching him. It's like, God
but
damn.
that's just it. So it's look, you got to put, look, we're going to see it for the superhero stuff. You
Right.
got to put some kind of carrot in there for the ladies to go, another fucking Marvel
Oh,
movie.
yeah, I know.
What is this one about now? Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth's booty?
Yeah.
Okay. Women will sit through movies just for, I don't care,
For
I'll sound
cheesecake.
sexist, just for that kind of stuff. They will.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
I
look,
mean,
no
and
one
men will do it too, because Angelina Jolie in Wanted is the reason half the men went to see Wanted.
Look,
because
look,
the trailer
Barbed Wire
showed her-
didn't make money because of its story, you know?
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Or
Let's not pretend like
Stripperella.
we're not all doing
Yeah.
the same thing.
So it's like it's the way it-
Swordfish. Yeah, we all
Yeah,
went to see
Swordfish,
Swordfish from Hugh Jackman. Right.
No,
Not
no,
the
no,
fine-
no.
Not the
No, we went for the crazy special effects of the
Right,
thing
the
blowing
hacking.
up and then the ball bearings going. That's what we went for.
Yes,
the final hurrah of
It's
bullet
Halle
time.
Berry was in the movie. I never noticed, honey. Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think it's a double standard and stuff like that just because it's already existed just for that character alone.
Big facts.
Yeah.
It's
Just for that character alone. Like if it was out of left field, Thor was never
Right.
sexualized. He was always
Right.
fully covered. And then all of a sudden, boom, here it is. But no, since day one. So to me, I'm like, sure. Hey,
Yep.
to Disney, if that's what moves the needle, and
Yep.
they got to figure out a way, how am I moving the needle now after some people have already been emotionally exhausted of this franchise?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even to me as a hardcore fan, after Infinity War was over and after Endgame was over, part of me, granted, yes, I'm always hesitant to say COVID because of my own podcast, but the big V, that's my slang for it.
Mhm.
Don't even get me started. In Transformers, just to go off for a second, in Transformers, Optimus Prime's name in Japanese is Convoy.
not anymore.
I said Convoy on the podcast. My video was flagged for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because so Optimus Prime Convoy, 2 hours flagged.
Mwah.
I'm like, are you
For the
kidding
word
me?
convoy?
Yeah.
Don't say it.
because
Stop saying it.
I'm not even going to say it. But yeah. Anyways,
Sorry,
anyways, the point is, I'm programmed myself
thanks
for
for
that.
passing this along. Because
Yeah, don't ask.
numerous times we've said
It's fine
the
now.
word.
It's fine now, but
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of months ago, it was not fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
So
Better not
anyways,
mention
the point is,
monkey, Samian
Yeah.
dots.
yeah,
Samian dots.
simian
Anyways, sorry,
dots,
go ahead.
simian
Go ahead.
polka dots.
Simian
Anyways. That's a good one. I have to remember now not to say that either.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Optimus Primal turns into.
Oh boy.
eh.
Yikes.
Anyways, the point is, so it's just they're trying to avoid that fatigue that's existing.
Yeah.
There's so much noise right now. Look, we're going back to theaters now. We're
Right.
going like that. We're over that hump, and they want to make sure
Mhm.
that all works out. Look, we had Eternals, we had all of those, regardless of how you liked those movies or not. Part of their lack of success, I will admit, was a lack of a theater access and
Right,
that
of course.
hype. Yeah, maybe those movies weren't good to you. Maybe you didn't like those characters. Maybe there's a political agenda, blah, 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 all
But
that noise.
they would have
But-
still turned people out.
Yeah,
People
there
would've
still
gone,
would have
yeah.
been people that would have
Yeah.
who make their Friday night or Saturday night. Let's go to
Right.
the theater. Let's stand at the marquee. Oh, there's a new Marvel movie.
Right.
Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. How no one knew what at the time, anyhow, no one knew what Guardians of the Galaxy was. That wasn't
Exactly.
some established brand that had Saturday morning cartoons in the 90s. At
No.
most, you had Silver Surfers cartoon on Fox that had like Rocket for 5 seconds and. That's about it, really. And
And
Drax.
then,
Drax was in it.
Drax.
But that's
And then
what
I
I'm trying
think he
to say.
also had was it
For all-
Marvel Avengers?
For all,
Avengers
for all the four
Assemble?
people that watched Avengers United,
Yeah.
they stand.
yeah,
there
he
you go.
recognized Tigroid recently.
Well, but that's what I'm trying to say. The point is that there's people that would have engaged with that brand regardless of any kind of precognition of it because they stand at the marquee. When that doesn't exist and you're just sitting at home, you're more hesitant to push the button and invest that money on Disney Plus to do that one-time purchase and everything. When you're staring at a screen that, by the way, everything else is free. You know, why am I going to buy Eternals when there's all this other stuff of my streaming services that are free? You know what? I'm just going to watch all this National Geographic or whatever it is that they got that's literally a click ahead.
I'll just wait you out because you have so much content on your on the free side. I know you're going to add this to gain more
sooner or later.
So I just wait you out and I'll still get to see it.
So, but that's why, as it stands right now, they're really trying to do that push. There's the whole marketing side of it for Disney in general.
Can I just take a second to describe the fact that you turned Thor's butt into a serious conversation?
But that's what it is,
and I respect it. That's the whole point. And
my world is all business now. That's all it is.
Let's go.
It's all business. Like this guy only got a toy because Blaster's trademark is expiring in 4 years. They got to do that toy. Like dude, Skinny. All of those toys behind you. Every single one of those got a trademark next to it.
Yep.
Every single one of those. And like Iron Fist. Iron Fist was a Transformer character, and then they go, "Hey, Marvel, let's share that trademark." There's so much of that. Roadblock is a Transformer character. It's a G.I. Joe character. There's
Playmates is whoring out the Ninja Turtles. Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, now they're Capcom's whoring out their brand. They're doing stuff with Ninja Turtles now. So.
Oh, did you see those ugly turtles? Oh my goodness! I won't even.
I want to put it on the screen.
Capcom over the past 4 years have been taking the Mega Man and Street Fighter brand and just offering it to whoever wants to pay. It is.
Bitch better have my money.
It's 1994 again with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let me tell you,
no.
they are just who wants it?
Straight to my feet.
Yeah.
Straight to my feet.
It is
Skinny. When you have the time, look that up. MC Hammer, straight to my feet music video.
I will not.
Lordy.
I will instead show you ugly turtles.
The Chun-Li with Raphael looks doo-doo. I'm telling you. Oh God.
Why
do they look like?
Who's making those toys?
Make sure you watch us on YouTube. Make sure you watch us on Twitch. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share it with your friends.
Not even NECA. Not even they couldn't even get NECA to come in and do that.
Don't talk to me about NECA. They owe me a Turtles in Disguise 4-pack. I paid them a year ago, and I'm mad.
Yeah.
I think there's another. They're doing another STCC 4-pack soon.
So Capcom is out here getting the license, like working.
No, so what Capcom's been doing recently, just because they're look, it's not the 90s anymore. These brands aren't making millions of video game
Disney
sales.
Doesn't want to work with them is the other rumor I'm hearing.
Oh, that I didn't know, but it's just them going like, look, what are we going to do with Mega Man? This guy used to make us tons of money. Now it's not the 90s anymore. It's not Mega Man X selling 100 million copies of a game. We put one out once in a while, because the thing too is video games. I don't want to go too off topic, but video games take a lot longer to make now and cost a lot more money than they did back in the day. When you look at like Mario 3 or Mega Man 2 that sold zillions of copies, those things were made in 5 months by 3 guys. Now it's like, multi-million dollars, and there's 17,000 people and guys over here to the left of me that have to game test it and everything back in the day, like it's just it was a whole different animal. So they made millions of dollars. Now you get one Mega Man game every 4 years, and he's not going to be turning in the big money like he used to, even at $69.99 or whatever they charge, even with digital. So they got to take those brands and go, hey, t-shirt companies at Walmart, do you want to license it? Hey, this company, that company, and Street Fighter, because me and Wendell were friends with the guys who run Udon, and they handles the Street Fighter brand, and they're just everywhere. It's just like we're gonna do like pins, this, that, like there's a line of workout clothing with Balrog on it. Like no joke. And I see the ads for it on Facebook. So like funny. Like it's just because they're just like, we got to do something with it.
Yeah. Keep it in the conversation.
Keep it in conversation, but also these companies are willing to pay us to use our likenesses. Right. That's what it is at the end of the day. Because people think like when you see an X-Men shirt in Walmart, it's not Marvel that's making money from that. Walmart paid Marvel or in this case Disney to go, hey, we want X number of shirts made so we could have that in our boys t-shirt section. and they pay a license for that. Like when you, even this Astro Boy shirt I'm wearing, this was done by Winners, and Winners probably has some deal with the people who own Astro Boy, which is probably Now Comics if they're still around anymore. But you know, like it's just those companies, they do those licensing deals, and that's how you keep it, like you said, like out there in the consciousness,
in the conversation,
because otherwise you're just that one thing. And
you're only as good as the last thing you do. That's the other thing. That's
and in a world today where everything moves so fast, it's absolutely insane how something is the hottest thing trending on Twitter and people won't shut the F about it. And literally like 20 minutes later, it's gone. It's gone, and then no one's talking about it, and it's not trending anymore. You could have a viral tweet, and it's insane, thousands of retweets, and then literally you wake up the next morning, and it's like it never happened. You know, it's crazy, but it shows that just how fast the world works. It's the same thing with any kind of these properties. You got to constantly be on top of them. When you have even like a She-Hulk trailer, you first do the pre-teaser hype trailer.
Oh god, I hate that.
Then you do the trailer that shows everything but She-Hulk in it. You know, like, and then you do the final full reveal trailer. And right there you stretched out 3 weeks that would have just been one trailer and everyone would have forgotten about you. You know? So there's a whole like marketing science behind it. Then and this is a little bit touchy, but then you create controversy. Oh, the CG is not good. That's going to put it in websites. Oh, but the actress isn't not right. That's going to put it in websites.
Do you think the CG stuff is on purpose? Because I feel like Marvel has enough money to do CG right.
I don't think the CG stuff was on purpose, but I will tell you something. It's making people talk about it.
Of course, yeah.
And if someone says the CG is bad, someone who didn't watch the trailer now is going to go watch the trailer. You know, and that trailer is hosted on Marvel's YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is monetized through the analytics of Google Analytics. That's going to make them money. So they, like even through their trailers that they have on their website, that's going to have car commercials and
a little revenue.
There's a deep dive into that.
Skinny looks upset.
No, I'm not upset. I just want to. Can we pour some liquor out for the people that got fired for that company for making ugly Sonic? Because y'all should be friggin' millionaires right now.
Yeah.
Straight up and down.
Chip and Dale
fuck up made one of the greatest jokes of 2022. That's it.
What, in Chip and Dale?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That was rude.
And my boy was in the movie too.
Yes,
exactly. Forget the sprinkles that Marvel is doing there where they're like, you know, Tiger's coming next. If you don't realize Tiger's coming next, come on, people. You know she's going to show up somewhere. They put her name in Hawkeye, Greer. They have her in Chip and Dale's. Of all the Avengers, random ass Tiger.
Like the foot of Optimus Prime for the Rise of the Beast movie made a cameo in the movie.
There you go.
That's the eagle eye fans of Transformers. They're like, shit, the toys foot matches that foot. That
breaking that down.
So I'm just gonna say in conclusion, Thor, Love and Thunder. Natalie Portman's bringing the thunder. And Chris Helmsworth's bringing the love.
He's in that Ravager costume for all but 2 seconds. That first beginning of the movie, and then he smashes his hammer down. And new toy. They literally got you. They got you for a 30-second moment. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Well, it's the same thing. Like Natalie Portman's probably going to have that helmet on for 5 seconds. You know
what you mean, boy? I already got it. What do you mean?
But that's what I'm trying. But the point is that sells an alternate head, that sells a statue, and not just a statue that's going to be licensed by First Four Figures. It's going to sell a bath towel that's going to be in Walmart. But that's how it. When you work on the other side of that, all of a sudden it's like, you know, like how when you know how the sausage is made, you don't want to eat the sausage anymore. It's
except in this case, you know how the sausage is made, and you're like, I want to make more sausage.
Well, you know, you realize how cheap it is to make it, and then you start selling sausage.
Exactly.
That's what happens. It's that it's look. I mean, actually, this isn't public yet. I've been working on a Transformer product myself that's gonna be attached to me at some point in July.
You know, this is need live, 2 of them. This is not pre-recorded or anything. You know that, right?
Oh well, no, don't worry. It's
okay, cool.
I'm not worried. I teased it a little bit. It's all upstairs anyway, so I couldn't even show it. Okay. It's just something I've been working on a little bit on the side and everything.
I feel like, and you know what? I feel like that's a natural progression because you've done so much that this is a cool. continuation of what you've been doing.
Wendell knows that. Let's put it this way: COVID was very good to me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, COVID, without a doubt. If I could go back in time and you could prevent COVID, I'd say no now.
no, don't do that.
Yeah, it actually.
I'm with you, man.
It helped. It worked so well for me. I remember when we did Not a Journalist. I share that link, by the way, with a lot of my fans of my podcast because they want something that's not Transformers of just me. And I share anything that I do with you because it's so unfiltered and different.
Yeah,
and
we've known each other for so long.
You know what's hilarious? I have fans that are like from the States that are they're conservative Black people, and they're like, you feel like a conservative church going Black person. I was like,
right.
But I think about the friends I was raised around, and it's like it's especially like, Wendell knows Anthony, the Cattersons and everything like that. And then, like it's true though when I think about
I'm
it.
glad you didn't do a what's his name? That wrestler. I was raised by a humble oh my goodness.
Who are you talking about?
Which era?
Geez, the American Dream.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. I'm glad you didn't do like a thing of Dusty Rhodes. You gotta put out your hands.
You gotta put out your hands. I am feeling your hand because my hand is feeling your hand because it's hard times on Dusty Roads. There is no honor among thieves. There is no honor among thieves. I sound like a Black man, but I am a fat white guy from the South.
But no, even Dusty Rhodes admitted, like, when he was growing up, he would go to like Black churches and he was influenced by the preachers and stuff like that. So he never like acted like, no, this is all me. And I was like, no. I was really young and saw those guys doing
As
that.
soon as you started saying it, it made me think of Steve Martin in The Jerk, where the movie starts off with him being raised by a I was born a poor Black man, and it's just Steve Martin sitting on that side of a road. You're like, what is happening?
The Jerk.
Great movie. If you have not seen that movie,
Jerk is a great
go
movie.
watch it. One of my favorite jokes that they did, instead of a 25th anniversary, they did the 26th anniversary. So they waited an extra year, and then it was like 25 was scratched out, and they just wrote 26 over it. Such a stupid joke, but I loved it.
What's next?
Chip and Dale. I mean, we brought it up. Do we want to talk about it a little bit? Because I saw it. Who else saw it?
I saw it.
I didn't get to see it. I want to see it, but I know it's going to be good.
I deliberately finished work last Friday. I'm like, yo, honey, I'm watching Chip and Dale. It's movie night. Like, I wasn't playing. That movie is that good.
How did you guys feel about the aside from the cameos, just the overall story?
I felt when it was done, I remember turning to my significant other and going, did I just watch like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Right.
Yeah. It felt like, I don't want to go too deep into it, just not to spoil, but it had that same progression and with all the cameos that were kind of all over the place, where it's like, I felt like, I'm pretty sure when this movie was being conceived, and I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit itself had like weird kind of sequel plans and stuff. The cartoon Bonkers was supposed to be a Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I heard.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So like, they were trying to do a sequel for years. I feel there's some writing room that probably, and then they were like, well, no one knows that anymore, and maybe Jessica Rabbit's too touchy. But, we haven't done anything with Chip and Dale for a while.
Right.
And, we could spin this off because, like, what inherently, I'm not saying like anyone who's a hardcore Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers fan or something, but
should have gone to the other room and get the Blu-ray.
But I mean, what inherently about those two characters could be Chip and Dale when it could have been Tailspin. It could have been it could have been Baloo down on his luck.
Right,
and whatever that kid's name was, I think his name was Kid. What was the name of the kid?
I don't know. Louis? No,
Louis
was King Louis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the point is, like, I feel like there was nothing inherent that it could have been those. I think that they had a script for a Who Framed Roger Rabbit sequel. And then there's like, who could we use that we haven't used in our library of character?
There you
go. Thank you.
Kid Cloud Kicker.
This blew my mind, but Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers wasn't even supposed to be Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It was supposed to be the Rescuers.
Well, there you go.
That's what I always assumed as a kid.
So did I, right? But it was they did the Rescuers and they did the Rescuers Down Under, and then the show was supposed to be the Rescuers, but then they like whatever licensing or they didn't finish that, so they just went with Chip and Dale.
I think the Rescuers might have come out like 80
something.
It might have been the creators.
But with the Rescuers being based in London, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was supposed to be an offshoot of that
Yeah, well, if I
Adventure,
remember right,
okay.
with the rescuers, one of them is Russian or like Ukrainian or whatever, like
girl,
Eastern,
yeah.
and then the other one is American.
American, yeah,
Mm,
who wore the like whole jacket thing, who looked like Chip. So it's like,
Let's see.
That's
But that-
cool.
But
That's
but
cool.
that's why. So there's something there. There's
Yeah,
something that.
yeah,
But I mean, it was enjoyable. I mean, it's one of those movies that, much like Space Jam, you spend more time looking at the background than you do.
Yeah, you're having
know.
fun. Like
this did what Space Jam tried to do
nostalgia.
better, though. I feel.
Yeah.
Space Jam
Bang.
was just WB going like, what do we
Yeah.
got? What do we
Yeah.
Here's all of our stuff.
What do we got?
No,
just throw it out.
Space Jam 2 is basically an ad for HBO Max. That's
Right.
all it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an expensive ad for HBO
Just to,
Max.
just
and
to
you have
remind
LeBron
everyone,
James
we
in
got
there.
this. We got
Yeah.
that.
But dude, how
Look at all our
crazy is it?
properties.
How crazy is it that Disney was just like, let's just flex on them with how much we own now?
Everything.
All that stuff,
Nigga,
the South
everything.
Park cameos in the
They
background.
didn't even have to do that one. They
all
were just
like I was just
whatever.
like, wow, you guys are going deep with what you have in the tub.
There's going to be some DVD stuff with the commentary in the
Oh my God.
background that
Right.
is going to be worth more than the actual movie
Hi.
itself.
At one point,
Hi,
I
I'm
thought
John
I saw
Delaney.
Pepper Ann in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm
saw
John
who?
Delaney. If you
Skinny?
look in the background,
Which character did you say you saw?
I thought I
Skinny?
saw
Pepper
Pepper
Ann.
Ann.
Pepper Ann. From
Oh, I
the-
don't. Yo, dude.
Legit,
Honestly,
I was just like, who is that? Wait, what? I stopped
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah.
times just to
Mhm.
look. and
when
be
I
like,
saw
what
the
am I
dad from South Park in the sauna,
Yeah.
is when it hit me. I was just like, wow, these guys are really just flexing with everything they own or have license power. Like, it was just impressive
I don't
to
know.
see.
but I thought South Park was more Paramount.
Well, the dad
Remember
is
right.
in the dad
Well,
is in the sauna.
I mean, they probably
Noth-
reached out like, hey,
nothing
we want to
about
do
Transformers is inherently Disney.
yeah.
It's
nothing.
Yeah.
it's completely like the only thing
Paramount
that
again.
the only connection I can make with and Transformers has more of a Paramount connection, if anything.
Yeah.
They didn't
The
give
only
me one bit of
connection that I
Gumby.
could make is that Hasbro's been making Disney licensed product for a while. They make the
Mm.
Disney Princess stuff, they make the Marvel, and they make the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I'm probably missing out on some of the smaller stuff too, but
a lot of handshaking deals where it's
yeah,
just,
well, it's something where in my bathroom, in my guest bathroom, I have a stack of 90s comic books that
Mm.
people could just read. And I was looking through some of them and I went, wow, Marvel was making Disney comic books back in the
Yep.
90s.
Yep.
They were making adaptations of Lion King and Darkwing Duck and stuff like that, Disney
Yep.
Afternoon, back in the 90s. So that relationship even existed in 91, 92, that sooner or later. So I'm pretty sure that there's something there.
I think the South Park thing could be more with Trey and Matt because I think they have sole ownership of that, so they could just do whatever
yeah,
the hell
yeah.
they want.
Yeah, they're
with
just
that.
having
Oh yeah,
fun.
sure.
They're
Yeah.
just having fun. They're probably like, hey, we could be in a Disney movie, you know?
the Uncanny Valley stuff I thought was great.
Yeah.
Like that whole reference to, remember when they were doing Uncanny, like they were trying to do CG,
Yeah,
but
CG,
everything looked soulless but close to real. I thought that
Mhm.
was a really good reference because I remember that era of film. Well, is it Beowulf that they made where the
Yeah.
Beowulf was pretty close. I think that
It
was
was
like
good,
Yeah.
that's when it was starting to get better. When it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks like Angelina Jolie.
yeah.
And
But
I
it's
guess
still
we
that,
could
like,
now picture her
soullessness
naked, but
sometimes.
Yeah, that soullessness was wow.
Yeah, when you look into the character's eyes and there's just
I
nothing
think it's-
there.
you know,
actually,
there's
now that I think
nothing
about
there.
the first movie that really started that was Final Fantasy. What was it
Oh,
called?
Advent Children?
Not Advent Children. Was it Advent Children?
No, not Advent
No,
Children.
the one
Hold on,
before
no.
that.
One before it.
Soul something.
Spirit,
Yeah,
Spirit,
Spirit
Son-
Spirit Within.
That's it.
Spirit Within, I
Spirit
think.
Within.
Spirit Within.
That's
That
it.
was like the first one where it was like, hey, we're gonna do a CG movie where it's almost like we're not talking like Uncanny Valley is, you know, the human characters from Toy Story. That's Uncanny Valley. You know, that's Sid and Andy. That's uncanny. But like where, you know, this was like something where, you know, we're getting closer. You know?
Yeah.
So it's something like that.
Skinny,
Again, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask Skinny, because Skinny, when you say to your partner Friday night, movie night, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, we're watching the movie, is it because you were a huge fan as a kid, or you just knew it was gonna have a lot of cool shit?
I knew it was
we-
gonna
our
be a
age-
lot. I knew it had a lot of cool shit, and it was because of we recently were watching The Rescuers and whatever, and I had this like, nah, this has too much of a Chip and Dale feeling to it. So
Yeah.
then I went and Googled The Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under, caught that up, and then with all the hype of it, I watch Black Nerd Comedy on YouTube. Shouts to him.
Yeah.
So really his hype about this movie was like just what put me over to it.
Also, fun fact, during the Disney Afternoon era, Rescue Rangers came on at 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So, because you had DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, then you had Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, and then of course the pushover as new shows started coming in.
Yeah.
But when that Disney Afternoon first started, you only would really be able to capture Rescue Rangers if you got home early from school, like really early, or otherwise, because you were getting in right at Tailspin.
Yeah.
Always 3:30 Tailspin. Always.
So unless you were watching like, Saturday morning stuff that maybe had reruns of it or anything. So a lot of people, they probably don't connect with that.
And then it would be on at like the wild 8:32 on Saturdays because like at 2:30,
I was up early
2:30 in the afternoon, you have Gummy Bears, 8 o'clock, like 7:30s, Gummy Bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Yeah.
And you could only watch Rescue Rangers if you were home. And on top of that,
your mom wasn't watching soap operas.
If your mom wasn't watching General Hospital,
because you only got the one TV.
3 o'clock. Yeah. So you knew you had to beg, or you had to like hope that someone called so that there was something more distracting on the phone than General Hospital.
I had the collateral.
Maybe sneak you some Rescue Rangers.
I had the collateral to kind of negotiate. Okay, 3:30, I'm watching Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters, because on ABC they'd be like, nah, like we're gonna do Ninja Turtles at 3:30. But then once we got a TV in the basement, it was Disney Afternoon for the morning.
That was the thing when you were a kid trying to convince your parents to get the second TV. and on top of getting the second TV, split the cable.
Yeah, because you're not paying for it. You're not telling them you're getting a second line.
So we had illegal cable. So.
I remember
nice white wire.
Yeah, I remember begging my dad when we had the cable. Can we get the splitter to send it to my room so I can watch cartoons?
See, my parents, they had 2 TVs and they wanted to make sure that the illegal cable box was in their room because after 11 o'clock, it got a little spicy. They wanted to make sure that we're talking because we got the free pay-per-view.
Oh, I know.
So that's where it got like.
Oh, I could see through these lines.
And then you realize like 20 minutes into it, it was gay porn. It was 2 guys.
Generally,
okay. What? Proto Man just looked right into the camera. Okay. Did you guys ever and we should probably get back to Chip and Dale in a second, but
no, we don't need to.
Is there a movie you ever watched in its entirety blurred?
Oh, hell yeah. Undercover Brother. And
Senior Trip, National Lampoon for me.
And
a
Scream.
lot of WWF pay-per-views back then.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I know negative colors.
I usually it would be like radio to me. Like I would just have it in the background. And then you'd have it.
The sound was never cut out. Like
no, it was always the sound was always perfect, and you would hope that when it would do this wavy stuff, sometimes it would catch, and then it would be like clear for a moment, and it's in black and white, and then you could hear Bobby the Brain Heenan or Jerry Lawler, depending on your era, they are, like going like, and then you could kind of it was like radio, but I never really watched the scrambled stuff. I was lucky because across the street from where I lived, Plaza Côte de Neige, I worked at the video store there. Brian even visited me once back. I worked there when I was in grade school. Imagine. The hustle was young when I was there. And so one of my forms of payment was at the end of the day, we're closing up. I could rent whatever I want, just bring it back in the morning before I go to Carlisle because he had a drop box. So we would rent whatever. And what was cool was we would get what were called demo tapes, which is before the stores would buy tapes, they'd get like demo tapes. Like whatever, Titanic or whatever. So they get it like 6 months before it comes out. So we'd rent like crazy. We would never really like pay-per-view. Forget about it. My mom would kill me if we ever did something. Like it was all free. We still lived in Côte de Neige. We weren't just because I'm white doesn't mean we had money.
I just learned the negative colors to the point where I just I think my vision's kind of weird because of it now.
You memorized what?
My brain would just be like, "That's a regular." I had to watch Power Rangers.
He became colorblind.
Exactly.
Just
now all he sees is like pink, purples, and ambers.
I think turquoise is red. Sometimes.
Him describing the Power Rangers, you're like, the Purple Ranger. It's like, what?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I knew the Blue Ranger was always like a reddish yellow. Red was turquoise. Pink was who knows what. Yellow
because you're watching Fox, right?
Right, exactly. I was trying to watch Fox, so I knew the colors, and I was like, okay, we can do this.
What doesn't make it? Oh, right, you're watching.
I know which character this is. Yeah, man. I mean, I like Chip and Dale. I thought it was funny. I thought Sandberg and Mulaney did a pretty good voice. Did a good job with the voices.
Yeah.
I thought they were just themselves because I mean, when you watch the actual show, they're pitched up. They're pitched up pretty high. So I mean, it makes it maybe a little bit more difficult to differentiate between. But I think one of them was like more kind of like you could tell by the tone of their voice. One of them's dopier and one of them's more kind of straight laced. So I think like if you're gonna give them actual people's voices, I think those two voices would be pretty good.
Well, yeah,
regardless of actual real life stuff that's going on in their life and stuff.
The few times they did jump into the Chip and Dale voices,
yeah,
I like how they utilized it because it made sense.
Yes,
when they were doing it, so I was like, okay,
it was funny.
Oh, is it one of those things where when they're talking to each other, they sound normal, but when everybody else is listening?
No,
they
sound
they sound normal.
Arguing,
yeah,
and they start getting really, really fast,
like cussing,
and then they're arguing, and it just turns into the classic, like
okay.
And it was really good.
And then it stops. You're like, oh shoot, okay.
Yeah, and it was good too because I know Chip and Dale recently had a new animated show on one of the channels, like some version of them.
No, I think they made cameos in the new DuckTales. I heard, right?
Is that what it was?
It could be that. Yeah, I think
I felt like I saw a cartoon where it's Chip and Dale, or at least it's the two
other characters.
Sure. Yeah, because Chip and Dale are like the versions that we have, but there was other versions of them before that I don't know if they necessarily had the same name.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about the Rescuers?
No,
not Monterey Jack and the other characters from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
No. I'll have to try and find it for next week because I know, like, you know how in the past they've done, for example, Daffy Duck is the version he is now, but the original Daffy Duck was based on the dodo bird that they used to do.
Super goofy.
Yeah. They had the dodo bird, and then they killed off the dodo bird character and passed his traits on to Daffy. And then Daffy used to be like the dodo bird and then became the Daffy you know now.
Yeah.
It was this kind of like
we used to do that stupid laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
I caught the last dodo. I caught the last dodo.
I hated that. I wonder why he looks so funny. I have some of those VHS tapes where I was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with Daffy?
Yeah.
Well, they made him more crazy animated looking style and all that. That's how they all kind of were. And that's what I think Rabbit is doing now.
Yeah,
the more recent one where they kind of go into that classic side.
Yes,
but they're just really extreme and crazy looking.
He does go back to that version.
Man, but some of those shorts, man, are really questionable. Racist stuff in those cartoons, boy. But hey,
I like the mid Daffy who was kind of just trying to get one over on Bugs.
Yeah.
And then the later version who was just lazy. Like he's just lazy. He's just a lazy dude. Yeah. That you're just like, why are you lazy? Like, why is this who you are now?
I liked one of the old school ones where Daffy, what was it? It was Elmer Fudd goes hunting, shoots down Daffy, and then Daffy and all the rest of the ducks make it so it's they do like a boxing match. Yeah, like Daffy's just straight up sucker punching him and doing all this. Like, here's the rules. You're not allowed to use a mallet, and he smacks him with the mallet and like just wrecks him the whole time. And then they finally have the match, and then he punches him out, and then he wins. But it's strictly like it's just rigged against Elmer Fudd on purpose.
Of course.
And then at the end, Elmer Fudd gets up one up on them. He's like, I heard that we're supposed to be fair, but I thought you're not supposed to do. And he like stomp it on the foot, and he starts beating up everybody.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
He gets them back basically.
I like Elmer Fudd. He's a weird ass white dude.
My favorite Daffy and is it Porky Pig? What's his name? Pudgy or Porky Pig. My favorite cartoon of theirs is where they literally go to like a haunted house, and they like it's owned by like what appears to be like this small leprechaun, but there's like 3 of them, and he's like they're literally be walking, and then like the hat will have feet, and it's walking, and then like it's such a freaky episode. But yeah, I love that.
I like when he was what's the space one that they did together? Where
Martian the Manhunter.
Duck Dodgers in the 24th half century.
Yeah, because Martian was in that with them, and that was a pretty good one. That was a good run for that.
Martian Manhunter.
That was a spoof. No,
it's a Martian Manhunter. Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
What was that show with the Looney Tunes? Was it the Looney Tunes or they were superheroes?
Yes, I was just gonna say.
Oh,
Lunatics.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So bad.
No, so bad, but it's good.
Did they ever make figures for that?
Yes, they did.
Lord, save us.
Actually, I saw somebody, and this is silly for me to mention this. I saw somebody selling original cops and robbers figures in like Saint Remy, Quebec, somewhere, and they had Bulletproof for like $70, and I almost did it.
I would have.
I was like,
Bulletproof-
oh,
I have that whole line
yeah,
100% complete in the other room.
Beautiful.
Bulletproof is badass because in the future the black guy is the leader of the
Yeah,
police.
he's like,
And you
he's half
kill
robot
him.
because he been shot.
Yeah,
yeah.
he was all shot up. He has, and it's cool. You take off the costume, and he has all the
Man, I
metal
wish-
under him.
His jacket.
I wish
yeah.
Dave was here because I kind of tricked Dave into thinking they were Marvel had got the license and was making.
Yeah, you're an ass.
DC
You're an
actually did
ass.
the comic
So-
books for those.
So
yeah.
so Proto Man, a few weeks ago, I was like, "Yo, I think something happened." And I tried to Google it, and I'm like, "Wait a minute!" And I asked Brian on the side. I'm like, "Brian was lying. Never mind.
Yeah.
calm down, man."
No,
sorry about that. My
Cops
bad.
Cops is owned by Hasbro. Hasbro was they were pretty much just 6-inch GI Joe figures. That's
They're
what they were
waiting.
doing, and the line
hollow, man.
and the line existed to keep trademarks. There's a Cops character called, because you mentioned Bulletproof, which is also Transformer trademark stuff, but there's Inferno.
Mm.
There's Mainframe, which was
Long
the
Arm.
chick behind. Yeah, Long
Yeah,
Arm is a
yeah.
Transformer character. You know, there's a lot of those that existed for that, but they also wanted to do 6-inch GI Joe, which is really what it is. It has the
Yeah.
O-ring in the
Yeah.
stomach. But yeah, again, Bulletproof is a hype character. Like
Yeah.
that whole show. I love that show.
I love the vehicles. Long Arms.
Yeah.
Was it Long? Who had the helicopter?
The helicopter was
Was,
oh my god.
Mayday?
No,
Not Mayday.
putting me
I
on the
forgot the
spot.
And then
right
you
now.
had Bowser and Blitz.
Bowser and
Yeah.
Blitz was the dog and the dog team.
Yes.
And the villains were so iconic because you obviously had
Oh,
Big Boss, but then
Big
you had
Boss, yeah.
you
Who's the
had
scientist?
Boom Boom. The guy who was.
Buttons McBoom Boom.
Yeah,
With the
Buttons
opening
Boom
and the gun in the
Yeah,
chest.
yeah, that was dope.
I had that toy, and that toy completely exploded on me because
Yeah.
the O-ring broke.
Because they
and I
all
tried
have
to
an
make it
O-ring,
work.
and the problem is some of them that had O-rings, because how you fix the O-ring, it's just a screw in the back and you change it. But some of them, they didn't have the screw because of having a chest gimmick or something,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
couldn't fix them. The best example from GI Joe, Zartan, he doesn't have a screw in the back because he had a color change gimmick, so they gave him a different sculpt,
Oh, okay.
and because he changes color and stuff. So like if your Zartan breaks, that's it. it's over. Speak of the devil.
Love
Well,
these figs.
yeah.
They're gonna drop Cops figs very soon to make.
They're
Boku
doing
dollars.
Dusty. They're doing Dusty, my boy Dusty, who's like
know.
super obscure,
I'm excited.
super obscure GI Joe character. I'm like, man, it's gonna be like 3 years before they get around to Dusty, and
And
they got to him
Dusty.
quicker than I thought. So I was very happy about that. And shout out to my boy Damon Bat. He's the one who's doing the box art for the Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh
so
no way!
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
a
That
friend of
Sergeant
mine
Slaughter toy looks great.
who goes to TFCon. He's an artist. He's doing the box art for it. He actually, how he secured that deal was he did a Sergeant Slaughter art for a convention. Slaughter saw it and
Ooh.
went,
Oh wow.
could I use this? And he's like, and then that kind of
wow.
start the ball rolling with that. And he told him in private, he's like, hey, I'm working something with Hasbro because Slaughter, he owns his own likeness.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I could be with Mattel for,
That's why he's with Valaverse too.
yeah, well, that's just it. Exactly. You know, it's like I could do stuff with Mattel, with WWE. I could do stuff with Hasbro. You know, with this, he can move around if he
But
wants.
how did he? So was it that? How did
There's
he
my-
get the? Because that's the one that I find interesting.
Thank
Sergeant
you.
Slaughter owns his likeness
Yes.
and then goes to. Was he on WWE first?
Oh, Slaughter's from the 70s. You know, like like Sergeant Slaughter's most famous match was against Montreal's Pat Patterson. It was the back alley brawl, and that's like pre WWE. That's like 79, 81 almost. You know, like
Damn, okay.
Vince Senior era. So it's something where like same thing with Hogan. A lot of those guys, they had their name long before Vince started owning you know, and started renaming you when you would come into a company. You know, like it's like here's Kerry Von Erich. He's coming into the WWE. No, let's call him the Texas Tornado because I got to own that. You know, that's what he used to always do. Same thing. Oh, here's Cactus Jack. No, we're not going to call him. We're going to call him Mankind because we got to own that. You know, but everyone knows who you know Cactus Jack is. No, Mankind. You know,
I think that's pretty cool though to hear about Sergeant Slaughter kind of hooking him up, like really liking it, and he's like, "Yo,
yeah, he
like,
was at a con.
It always sounds like he's kind of done that for a while. I remember one time way back, I think they were doing a Legends of Wrestling video game, and he was promoting it.
Mm.
And I think someone asked him about Macho Man, and he kind of turned to the camera and kind of made a plea to Macho Man to like,
And
bury the hatchet and just come back and like, this is our time to make money.
And Legends
man.
of Wrestling was one of those video games that wasn't either company. It was like one of those purgatory, like you could be this guy's or that guy's. It could be anything. So that's perfect for someone like him. And again, Mach at the time, who was not exactly on the outs with Vince because of many different reasons, but you know, and same thing, WCW, who knows what his contract was at the time with them. Wrestling is a whole other.
I was going to say
another rabbit hole.
I didn't want to talk the Naomi Sasha Banks stuff because I knew Dave's not here, so
I just wanted to tell you guys, everything I apply when it comes to business, I use wrestling as a reference. Let's put it that way. Wrestling is so tied to business.
Well, one thing I was going to mention before, like when you and Dave did last week's episode, I was like, man, the world is literally wrestling entertainment. Even sports, even regular sports like F1, they'll change up stuff just to make it
everything
more
is kayfabe.
Exactly. they'll mess with the rules just to make it more interesting.
I've been telling everybody
NBA changes up the rules just to
when
make
the
it
Will Smith slap happened. Here's the wrestling mind.
Yeah, exactly.
The wrestling mind in me going. The wrestling mind in me going like, is this rigged?
Yeah,
you know, like,
of course. That's what
are they promoting a movie?
Sometimes you got to turn heel, man.
Yeah.
But even like when that happened, I was like, oh, this has to be fake. And then when he cussed him out, I was like, nah, it's real. This is not fake at all.
But you never know. You never know.
Well,
people are good actors.
That's exactly what I said.
He made a living. He made a living pretending to love, cry, and shout.
That's what I said.
Now he's going to stumble. You know,
I don't know, man. Look at that Amber Heard. Look at that Amber Heard thing.
Award where he was given an award for being the best actor. It's not beyond him to act well and act crazy. That's the whole point. That's the funny, hilarious.
Pull out a nose hair, pretend you're crying.
I liked watching a few videos where they're like, well, let's look at all the other times where he was like, let's look at all the other videos where he's like kind of pissed. So let's look at him and Jada talking about her affair, or they're on a break or whatever. Let's see how he talks about it. He'll say something that he's really angry about and then make a joke immediately because he just doesn't. He just can't do it. And then he tells on himself in his what's it called again? His memoir. He talks about all his his issues,
all the people he done slapped in.
I always say, like, white people love Will Smith. He was like the black guy that didn't make them feel uncomfortable.
Right,
you know?
right.
And when you lose your white people, you're in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, hey, we all know that's the
all of a sudden the white people are coming after him. It's like, no, he was like the one they liked, you know?
That's it. And that's
again,
the crazy part.
Again, why are you not like the other black people?
The thing, again, for me, that
you're one of the good ones.
The thing that messes me up is just the stupid, like, oh, this is the most shameful thing that happened at the Oscars. Really? You guys gave Roman Polanski an Oscar.
Let's not even go
live on the thing.
Stupidity that people were saying.
I'm sorry I brought it up because now it's open.
Sorry. But it's way more worse stuff that happened during the Oscars. But okay.
All this to say, a quick round, because you guys are all wrestling fans. Do you think Naomi and Sasha will be back within the year? Yes or no?
No, because I'll tell you this right now. For the first time in 15 years, there's two companies. This is, you know, if you would have told me this 10 years ago before AEW existed, which is another rival company, right? Because like anything in life, competition is the best thing ever. It always is. There's another company. There's another company that if those two, and you have to understand something, AEW doesn't have a very strong women's division. They don't. Yeah. So if two, like especially Sasha Banks in our lifetime is a top 10 women's wrestler of all time. If she fucking goes over there with already the Japanese chicks that are there and stuff that are already trying to build something, it could be a big boon for them. Naomi, she's a B-tier player. I don't want to insult her, but she really is.
It is what she is.
She is. Fine. You know, you need someone who's going to be pinned. That's just how it is. You know, you need it. I always say you need an SD Jones. You know,
you need someone who's gonna be pinned. Well, it's a wild line, but
a jobber. It's a jobber.
No, I know. I 100% agree.
SD Jones, Special Delivery Jones was a black wrestler that he was the jobber. Hey, he got an action figure. He made millions of dollars in the LJN days, you know, but the point is
I mean, we all watch wrestling as kids. There's always those guys who came out in the trunks with like absolutely nothing.
Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me a match Brooklyn Brawler won, you know?
Right.
But the point is that, so like, she's someone that's going to be, I use the term a B+ player, which is she'll win some matches, but she's going to be there as enhancement talent, but she'll still make money. The point is that if this would have happened 10 years ago, TNA wasn't a viable option, which was another company at the time that Eric Bischoff's. They're lucky that they're doing this. I think that's why they did it, because they knew that at the same time, Sasha could put the belts down on the table and go, we're out of here. And she knows that they have somewhere else they could go if they want to. Because back in the 90s, when WCW was kicking Vince's ass, guys had somewhere they could go, and vice versa on WCW. WCW guys had somewhere they could go. Look, it's the same thing. Look, Cody Rhodes is on WWF TV.
Kenny Omega is coming to WWE.
Well, there you go.
110%.
But that's what I'm trying to say. The fact that for the first time in 15 years, there's two really viable companies that are there that you could do that. That's great for the wrestlers. Now, is it right what she did? I'll be honest with you, me personally, I don't know the full picture, because sometimes you also have to know this, because sometimes, like, people go, oh, she didn't do what she was asked of her, and that's irresponsible. And I can understand that. But if sometimes you don't know the full picture, if she was told, oh, for the next 6 months, you're going to get pinned and everything like that, sometimes you just say to yourself, fuck it. Well, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go not get pinned over here. And they're going to pay me. And let's put it this way. Sasha probably, as of this moment, is already a millionaire. She's already made tons of money. She's done acting. She's done acting. She's been in Scooby-Doo cartoons. She's done it all at this point. She has action figures. She gets her merch check. She's in video games. She's fine. So it's not about, you reach a point, and this is where, look, I can not hate Hulk Hogan, because when you look at him from a business standpoint and a political standpoint, this guy was a fucking genius. This man was on top for 11 years. Stone Cold Steve Austin was on top for 2. Bret Hart was on top for 2. No, think about it. WrestleMania 1 to 9 ended with Hogan posing. 1 to 9. 1 to 9.
Consecutively, right?
Consecutively. 1 to it's WrestleMania 10. It's Bret. But 1 to 9, it's
Hulk. That's insane.
9 years straight.
That's insane.
I'm sorry.
And then he went to WCW and did it for another.
And then he did it for another 5. But that's what I'm trying to say. You could hate on this guy all you want. Yeah, he's racist. He didn't let other people get ahead of him. But holy fuck.
This is wise.
But that's why. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're rich at that point, you just want to have all the control. It's not about the money anymore, because if they fire you, who cares? I'll go home and sit on the beach. You know what I mean? I'm rich.
I'll sell my action figures. My image.
Well, I'll sell. Sasha's going to go somewhere else. Someone else will take her. Like what's it called? Ringside Collectibles, who does all the action figure stuff. They'll buy her likeness. Super 7 with the Andre the Giant stuff that they do.
Super 7.
Someone will throw her money to get her likeness, and she'll still laugh. When you already have $5 million, what's another 10? Like unless her dream is owning islands or something, she's gonna be fine.
She's gonna live comfortably.
You look at guys like Kevin Nash that made such insane money, and yet he still drives the same fucking Ford Bronco he owned back in like the 90s. Because they know that he just take it easy. You'll never have to worry. He says he drinks wine and watches Netflix. That's all he does all day, because after he retired, he's just like, what do I need to do anymore? I don't need to bust my ass. And in her case, when you have all that money, you could start to now think more just about power and making your own, as the term that Hulk Hogan used, creative control, which is, that's the thing is, she walked into that. She wanted creative control. I don't want to get pinned. Naomi, it's her buddy. So it was more like, just,
that's what
we're doing this together, hun. Who knows?
That was one of the things when I heard it all about it. I was just like, I don't know Naomi. Like, I mean, I don't pay attention as much as you guys.
She's married to a Nuso. That's why she's still there.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Bellas. It's how they were still around, because both of them were married to.
We do have to wrap up though. It's already no. Hey man, again, great conversation. It's not that I want to end it. It's just, like we were saying before with the algorithms, we know once we go past a certain point, some of y'all start to go,
bro, I do 2 hours and I kill it.
by
Here.
himself. This
Let him
goddamn
know.
No, but it's
monster.
true. It's true.
Breeze from downtown.
Alone. I don't know how I do it.
I used to do that on a radio station, 9 to
Yeah.
noon, baby, every Friday. That was some good times. So I definitely know what you're talking about. It's fun. But yo, guys, we always have a pleasure doing the show. I had it scrolling at the bottom. I'll add it back again. Once again, Jaws, do you want to do the honors, or Proto Man, do you want to do the honors?
I'll let Proto Man do it.
The GoBot podcast, where we talk about the greatest of Hanna-Barbera, such as
Next
such as Dynamite. And,
next guest is
and
going to
Space
be
Coast to
John
Coast.
Cena.
Yeah.
GoBots.
And
Oh my
just want to give a
God.
shout out to the best director of all time, Michelle Bay. So. But yeah, Transformers Slag podcast, whatever. We hit 10K just a couple days ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
congrats, man.
I hit. It's funny, like I hit 10K a couple days ago on the subs on Insta. I hit over 2,000. Insta, fuck, I've been sleeping on Instagram for a while. I started posting like just collection stuff, and that exploded. Didn't realize. So I hit 2K on that, and then in 2 days is my birthday. So
true.
Good job.
so
Happy birthday in advance, homie. Thanks for coming through.
You know what sucks? Turning to your girl and going like, so I want to go for Chinese, and she's still deciding where we're going to eat on my birthday. Like no, we're not going for Chinese because I want to go to Cam Shing. Wendell knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like,
remember, when it's your birthday, you don't get to decide what you
and
do.
she's like,
what you
no,
wanna do.
we're going to Korean. I'm like,
Are you gonna do all
Fine.
was it are you can eat barbecue?
no, we're just doing takeout.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be in that. I'm not ready for that crazy
Not
world
ready
yet.
for that? Okay.
Not ready for that crazy world yet.
Folks, make sure you check it out. Transformers
Still the eye of the storm.
podcast. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
And that's the whole show,
Monkeypox.
folks. We had a whole fucking
Yeah.
amazing time. If you guys
Monkey
want to check
Pokemon.
out everything, make sure you go check them out. Make sure you check us out. All our tags are on the screen. Brian Holiday, Action Figgy Skinny, Proto Man, Jaws D. Boys, thank you so much. It was always a fun, and we'll be back next week with another one. Peace, y'all.
Take care, everyone.
Doodaloo.